Second last question, quick one from Rudolf Buerta. Your opinion of Mr. Mashaba's quote-unquote movement, I don't know if we're allowed to call it a party yet, but of Mr. Mashaba's movement or party or National Command Council?
Yeah, I think what Mr. Mashaba is doing is very interesting because it's Trumpian. He is South Africa's Donald Trump. At the right moments, which some people may read as compliment, and others not. At the right moments, he's hammered immigrants, which we've disagreed with and thought the wrong thing to do completely. So he's got build the wall in his arsenal. They keep them out. They took your jobs, etc., etc. What that shows us about Mr. Mashaba, look, Mr. Mashaba has long association with the Free Market Foundation, so we're not terribly distant. What that showed me is that he's capable of populism, ruthless populism, because no one who's been chairman of the Free Market Foundation would hold the view that immigrants are any problem to any economy. And that means maybe he's got the political nous that it takes in order to be successful politically. Businessmen go to politics, they fail horribly because they don't understand what it's about. Mr. Mashaba can attack his supporters and friends and with a straight face, and that means he's politically, he's worth taking a second look at. And on the economy, he's sensible, reflecting his years at the Free Market Foundation. And so he becomes an early case study of this black conservative movement that I suggest will one day come to govern South Africa. Will he succeed? I don't know. Maybe it's been a bit quiet through the pandemic, which is a great political platform to exploit. Compare him being quiet on the pandemic to the D, has, I think, done politically quite well. And but even if Mr. Mashaba fails, the example he has set, a black conservative voice, yes on capitalism, populist on some other questions, I think that example will fester. And even if he doesn't make it, the baton will be picked up by someone else. And it's a good, I'm pleased we got the question, because it's when Mashaba popped up after his evacuation from the DA, well, when the DA reconstituted itself, one of the anticipated outcomes was the DA itself might go more liberal, which is done, and that's a very good thing. But another outcome was that maybe conservatives and liberals don't actually belong in the same camp. They will always fight with each other. They should be kept separate. But on macro issues, they can find common ground. And one of the consequences of the reorganization of the DA may have been to push the conservatives out to do their own thing, where if everyone can calm down and some common sense prevail, they might in turn, they might find in their own tents, the conservatives and liberals can become useful allies in shaping a future South Africa. So he set the early pace here, perfectly in line with my thesis, and shared by many of my colleagues, that this is where South Africa is headed. But don't worry if he fails. Once the example is set, the precedent established, if the context remains conducive to fundamental change, a huge leap forward has occurred in the political evolution of a country.